Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Brett Keene from God TV Radio. Make sure you check out my website, godtvradio.com, and connect with me on Facebook and Twitter. Don't forget to check out my brother's YouTube channel if you're into metal and rock, and don't forget to check out my Games You Love channel where my son runs the place. If you're into gaming, you'll dig it. Yes, sir. Today we're going to talk about some of the positive claims and assertions that atheists have made. Now, right off the bat, I'm going to preface this with this. A lot of non-believers are going to say we don't make positive claims, we just claim that we lack a belief in deities for lack of evidence or information behind it. However, unfortunately, due to their position, they are restricted and limited to many different moral and philosophical conversations that they can have, and it actually harms them in many ways in their arguments and points. For one, in order to be an atheist, you have to be convinced that the universe came into existence unguided, that there was no plan, there was no plot, and there was no point, that in fact they'd have to describe themselves as nothing more than a million, billion, trillion, perhaps even an unimaginable number of mistakes and cataclysms that happened that somehow produced their existence through spontaneous generation. My friends, that is a positive claim. That's an assertion. When you state that there was no intelligent mind or designer behind the universe, you are producing a concept, an idea that if there is no intelligence behind it or no consciousness, then you would have to logically assess that a natural explanation is at hand. You have to say that the universe came into existence through natural means. The problem that the atheist has here is that the universe as we know it, the very theory behind the Big Bang created by that of a Catholic priest, was that nature and time and space came into existence, and before that there was no nature, time, or space. So therefore the atheist is checkmated right off the fucking bat because they can't use nature as an explanation to produce any kind of theories or answers to why this is. This is one of the reasons why physicists are running around like chickens with their fucking heads cut off. They have no way, and all they can do is stand in awe at an organized, sophisticated, logical, and rational universe that somehow produced the energy of life itself and all of the resources necessary in order for that life to exist within it. The atheist states that from the get-go he was an accident, that somehow a 1,000,000 to 1 chance life came into existence and somehow began developing over billions of years of time to the point where it could function and actually look at the universe itself with its own eyes and its own mind and its own brain and conceptualize creativity, imagination, all that you see around you. But somehow it was all of an accident. Has anyone in your entire life ever heard of a book coming into existence without someone first writing it? Has anyone ever heard of any kind of power source or generator or power core or computer, anything, even small and minute with processing power coming into existence by itself? No. Anything that has any kind of logic and rationality or purpose and intention to it is 99.9% of the time created by someone who had the intelligence enough to produce it. The atheist is literally at odds with his own contradiction and internal hypocrisy. He just doesn't know what to do with himself. Even his own biology, as he was explaining, would have to tell you that his mother and father never actually intended on him existing. They just went through a process and somehow blindly all this biology came together and coded their work, put their life together, and 9 months later, boom, they were out, either through C-section or coming out of the vagina of their mother. Voila. But their mother never knew who they would be. Hell, she didn't even know if they were going to be a girl or a boy. And it could have been a million other different people, according to the atheist. It was just as fucking luck by chance. or his father just so happened to project just enough, and he was lucky enough to be on the top of that meat hill whenever it came out. Well, I wonder what that does to the mind of a person who believes that they are nothing but random accidents that happened all throughout the universe, and here they are. A person who believes that their life and their existence and their very meaning and purpose can be snuffed out any minute of the day, and they were never even relevant enough to where they could be seen or noticed, even within our own galaxy or solar system. What does that do to a person? Humans have a nature about them where we need to be social. We need to feel as though we have purpose. We need to have meaning. And it's obvious, even in Richard Dawkins' books, if you've ever read them, that he realizes that the concept of God is very appealing to humans. And being that humans allegedly evolved, that means that evolution chose this, unintentionally, whatever, for us to have this desire, need, and want to serve a powerful God that created the universe. This is what evolution wanted. This is what nature wanted. Who are you, arrogant creature, to question nature? Yep. Time and nature and space. Isn't it something? So yeah, the atheist is constantly making positive claims whenever he asserts that the reason why people believe in God is because they're afraid of death. That's a positive claim. That's an assertion. Claiming that religious people are delusional and mentally ill. This is a positive claim. This is an assertion. Claiming that there is no God or there was no God that brought us into existence. This is another positive claim. Claiming that the universe somehow came into existence VI, aka nothing. Well, motherfuckers, that sounds like magic to me. Magic. It just fucking blew up out of thin air. Just nothing was there. Nothing happened. Here's my theory, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't mind me putting forth my concept here. Whatever it is that created the universe would have had to have been eternal. The reason why is because the universe has the restrictions of time, space, thermodynamics, the laws of nature, and so on. But this does not mean that it has to be the case on the outside of the universe or before the origin of the universe. Time did not exist. So whatever it was that existed was eternal and powerful enough to create a universe. So what other thing can you think of, or mechanism in existence can you think of that is powerful enough to create a universe? And something that always was. Can you think of anything by nature that is eternal? Fuck, no, you can't. But what has those attributes? If you look at any basic definition of God, God is everlasting, He is all-powerful, and He is all-knowing. Well, an entity that exists from the beginning of time and space is clearly going to have an understanding of how everything works. If you've existed forever, and you've also existed along with linear space and time, this wouldn't be a problem from an entity that is over trillions, quadrillions, or whatever fucking existence the universe is. And also existing outside of space and time itself. So as you can see, it is more rational and logical to believe in an intentional mind with a creative spark, as opposed to nothing at all. The atheist does have burden of proof. As long as you claim that there is no existence of God, or that perhaps God does not exist, then you assert by default that there must be a naturalistic explanation. And we all know that you'll fail to give us any kind of answers on that, or quickly climb under a rock and say, I'm not a scientist, I just don't know. Well, the fact that you claim that there is no God and it must be a natural thing or process that did all this shows me that you have a great deal of faith yourself. And you also believe in magic if you think that the universe just popped into existence by itself. You, my friend, are not a critical thinker. You are not a free thinker. You're just another human sitting in a fucking boat bitching about how smart you think that you are. Even the scientists themselves are still scratching their fucking heads to this day, and I endorse and encourage them to continue to find answers. Alls I ask is that people quit fucking pretending as though they know so much when they know so little. God bless.